Do you know what ChatGPT is? Let me tell you all about it. ChatGPT is like a talking encyclopedia, but instead of a big book, it's a computer program that can answer any question you have. It has access to a huge database of knowledge and can provide answers to all kinds of questions, from the simple to the complex. ChatGPT has been trained by lots of very clever people to understand almost any language, including emojis. This means you can communicate with it using words, pictures, or even a combination of both. One of the coolest things about ChatGPT is that it can learn and get smarter all the time. It does this by constantly analyzing the questions people ask it and the answers it provides. This means it's always improving and can give even better answers in the future. ChatGPT is great at having conversations. It can talk about all kinds of things, from your favorite foods to the latest movies. It's like having a friend who's always up for a chat. ChatGPT loves to laugh and make people smile. You can tell it jokes or even ask it to tell you one. It might not have the best sense of humor, but it's always willing to try. ChatGPT is really good at helping you with homework. It can provide explanations for math problems, help you understand tricky concepts in science, and even provide historical context for your social studies assignments. If you're stuck on a question, ChatGPT can go and ask its friends on the internet for help. This means it can provide answers to questions that it might not know off the top of its head. ChatGPT can recommend books, movies, and other fun activities to try. It's like having a personal assistant who's always looking out for the best things to do. ChatGPT can even help you learn new things. It can provide definitions for new vocabulary words, help you understand complex concepts, and even recommend online courses or other resources for further learning. ChatGPT isn't all work and no play. It loves to have fun too. You can play games with it, ask it to tell you riddles, or even challenge it to a trivia contest. ChatGPT can provide recommendations for all kinds of things, from the best pizza place in town to the latest video games. It's like having a knowledgeable friend who's always ready to offer advice. ChatGPT is great for people of all ages, from kids to adults. It can provide answers to questions about the world around us, help with homework, or even provide recommendations for new hobbies to try. ChatGPT is always available, 24/7. You can ask it a question at any time of day or night and it will do its best to provide an answer. It is a great resource for people who might not have access to other sources of information, like a library or other forms of education. It can provide answers to questions even in areas with limited resources. Most importantly, ChatGPT is a friend. It's always ready to chat, laugh, and help out in any way it can. It's like having a virtual buddy who's always there for you. How was it created, you ask? Great question. Once upon a time, there were a bunch of really smart people who wanted to create a computer program that could answer any question you had. They wanted it to be like a robot friend who was always there to help. They got together and started building the program. They called it ChatGPT, which stands for Chatting Generative Pre-trained Transformer. That's a fancy way of saying that it's really good at talking and answering questions. But creating ChatGPT wasn't easy. It took lots of hard work and lots of smart people working together. They had to teach it all kinds of things, like math, science, history, and even jokes. They also had to teach ChatGPT how to understand different languages, like English, Spanish, and even emoji. Can you imagine trying to understand a message full of emojis? It's not easy, but ChatGPT can do it. Once ChatGPT was created, it was like a baby robot. It didn't know much, but it was ready to learn. The smart people started talking to it, asking it questions, and teaching it new things. And you know what? ChatGPT was a quick learner. It started answering questions and having conversations like a pro. And now, ChatGPT is all grown up and ready to help you with anything you need. It's like having a smart robot friend who's always there to answer your questions, tell you jokes, and even play games with you. That's the story of how ChatGPT was created. It took a lot of hard work, but now we have a super smart robot friend who's always ready to chat. As cool and awesome as ChatGPT is, it still has its limitations. It is really smart, but it's not perfect. Sometimes it might not understand what you're trying to say or give you the wrong answer. Just like when you're learning something new, it can take time to get things right. Another thing to keep in mind is that ChatGPT only knows what it's been taught. If you ask it a really specific question about something that hasn't been added to its database, it might not know the answer. Also, ChatGPT doesn't have feelings or emotions like we do. It can't give you a hug or tell you that everything's going to be okay. It's really good at answering questions and having conversations, but it can't replace the love and support of a human friend or family member. Finally, ChatGPT can sometimes make mistakes or provide answers that aren't completely accurate. It's important to double-check any information you get from ChatGPT before using it for something important, like a school project or making an important decision. But don't worry, these limitations don't mean that ChatGPT isn't helpful or fun to talk to. It's still a great resource for answering questions, learning new things, and having conversations. And who knows, maybe someday it will be even smarter and able to do even more amazing things. So there you have it, ChatGPT is a super smart computer program that can answer any question, help with homework, recommend cool stuff, and most importantly, be your friend. And remember, if you ever need to know anything, just ask ChatGPT.